Hi, I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Theory Tuition series where we're working step by step through each of the ABRSM theory grades. There are lots of resources available to help you on my website. If you visit sharonbill.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets. You can download those in US letter or A4 and they accompany each step of this series. There's also a page with links to all of my YouTube video tutorials, and you can also access information about the books that I have available. I've written How to Take Your ABRSM Music Theory exam. It's full of tips and techniques on how to best prepare for your exam and how to best make use of the time when you're actually in the exam room taking the paper on exam day. So if you visit sharonbill.com, you'll find it's all there. If you can give me a like, that'd be fab, and subscribe to my channel to keep updated. And so we're going to have a look at this sample paper. So you can download this for free from the ABRSM website, and you'll see the link to that in the description below. And this is the new look paper. This is the newly revised exam paper that's in place from 2018 onwards. And so we'll make a start on this. And so question 1 asks us to look at this following extract. It tells us it begins on the first beat of the bar, but we are required to put in the missing bar lines. So we're in common time, which is the same as 4/4, 4 quarter notes, 4 crotchet beats per bar. And it might just be helpful before you get going just to remind yourself that one quaver, 1/8 note, divides into 2 semiquavers, 2 16th notes, and they themselves divide, if I just go a bit below, into 4 demi-semiquavers. That's 3 lines, or 32nd notes. So you can see that one semiquaver, 1/16th note, divides into 2 demi-semis, which are a 32nd note. So we have a half of a beat when we're counting in crotchet beats or quarter notes, a half a beat, quarter beats, 1/8 of a beat. So it's just as well to have those increments to hand, because we're going to have lots of little note divisions here. And so we need to find 4 crotchet beats per bar. So we've got 1 crochet beat here. We know that 4 quarters of a beat, 4 semiquavers, give us another crochet beat. We've got a semiquaver rest there. 2 demi-semis, or 2 32nd notes, give us a semi. And then here, although we've got dotted semi, demi-semi, dotted demi-semi, we know that those 4 give us a beat. And you can see as well that it's divided there as well. So let's see what we've got so far. And then we've got this missing half a beat here. I haven't forgotten about that. It's an odd half a beat. So we've got 1 beat here. We've got 1 beat here. We've got 1 beat here. There's 3. And then this half and these 2 quarters here make a half. And that gives us our missing 4th beat. And so we can put the bar line there. Now here we've got a half, and then we've got what would average out to 2 quarters. We've got a dotted semi-quaver with a demi-semi-quaver, which averages out to 2 quarters of a beat, which is 1/2 of a beat. So there's a beat, and we can tell that as well because it's beamed in groups of a beat. And then here we've got a semi, which is a quarter of a beat, and 2 demi-semis, which give us a quarter of a beat. So there we've got 2 quarters of a beat. And then here again we can see there are other 2 quarters of a beat. 4 quarters make a whole beat. And we can see that that's all beamed together as a 1 beat. So there's 1 beat, 2 beats, those 2 quarters, there's another quarter, that's 3 quarters, and then these 2/8 of a beat make a quarter. 1, 2, 3, 4 quarters make a whole beat. There we go. And then here we know that this one's made longer, this one's made shorter, but it averages out to 4/4 because the dotted and the demi-semi averages out to 4/4, which gives us another beat. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's our next bar line. Let's carry on. And so we've got a half of a beat here, and we know that that averages out, if we just see that the dot and the demi-semi sort of average them out to 2/4. So a quarter, quarter and a half gives us our whole. We've got a quarter here, quarter of a beat, not a quarter note, just watch that. 2/8 of a beat, give us another quarter. Again, another quarter, so those 4/4 of a beat give us a whole beat. Again, we've got a quarter of a beat, a quarter of a beat, a quarter of a beat, and then those 2/8, don't forget the rest, give us another quarter of a beat. So there's our next beat. And then although the dot and the demi-semi-quaver make performance issues different, in terms of maths, they average each other out. So we know we've got 4/4 of a beat there. So there's our next bar line. Now I don't think we've got another complete bar here. This etc. tells us that it doesn't carry on, and I don't think we've got a full bar here. We've got one beat here, one beat here. So we're going to be running out of time. We're not going to make the 4 beats, so that's our job done there. And actually 3 marks, and we've got 1, 2, 3 bar lines, so that makes sense. So let's move on to the next question. So question B now asks us to look at a different Mozart extract, and we're going to have to do a little bit of descriptive work here, talking about the harmonies that are going on and some of the other melodic issues. So they helpfully tell us that the key is B flat major, and so we can already allocate our chords. So if we're in chords 1, 2, we don't do 3, 4 and 5 in B flat major. I know we've got flats going on, but the key signature takes care of that. We don't need to worry about writing those down. C, D, we're not using E, F. And so make up your triads with your first and the third and the fifth. If you find that difficult, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just count those out. B, D, F, C, E, G, E, G, B, F, A, C. And we know that we've gone correctly there because first, third, fifth makes the root for our chord 5. We can also show that we know the root position, first and second inversion. So we've done all the thinking, we just now need to see what's going on. Now heads up, there's a little bit of a sneaky devious misleading aspect here. If you find that you can't get these chords to fit, it may well be that you've missed the fact that the left hand has moved into the treble clef. So that might just throw you off and wonder why your chords aren't working. And so now that we're aware that we're in the treble clef in both hands, we can see that we've got an E, B and a G. Of course it's E flats and B flats, but the key signature takes care of that. We can see that we're in chord 4, and because there's an E in the bass, it's root position, so you can either just leave it as chord 4 or you can call it chord 4A. Let's look at the next bit. So now we're still in the treble clef in the left hand. We've got an E, a G, and then we've got a C, which tells us chord 2, C, E, G, gives us those harmonies. However, because the E is in the bass, we know it's a 2B. Let's crack on. Still we're in the treble clef, it's not gone back to bass clef. So now we've got a D, an F and a B. So B, D, F is chord 1, that gives us all of those notes. And because the D is in the bass, we know that's a chord 1B. So let's carry on. We need to name the ornaments in the right hand part in bars 1 and 3. So bar 1 is this one. Now we need to be careful because that's an appoggiatura, not the one with a line through, which is the acciaccatura or the crushed note. That means that this is more evenly sort of allocated between the notes rather than just squished in. So that's an appoggiatura, double P, double G. Alternatively, you can refer to that as a leaning note. But crushed note would be incorrect because crushed note is the acciaccatura, which has the little line through it. So now in bar 3, we've got this ornament here, and this is a turn. And that's that. And now we need to give the technical name of the note in the right hand part marked with an X. So it's this one here that we need to name. Remember, the key is B flat major, so let's mark out the degrees of the scale. We don't need to worry about the key signature, the music deals with all of that. B, C, D, E, F, G, A. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We don't need to do 8 because it just takes us straight back. And so let's have a look. This note that we've got here is a B, C, D. And D is the 3rd degree of the scale. And so the technical name for that is the mediant. Super, let's move on. So let's look at the next question. Put these papers back together. And so now we've got to describe fully each of these melodic intervals. A melodic interval is where one comes after the other, as it would do in a melody. However, regardless of which one comes first, we always count upwards from the lowest note up. We take the lowest note as our key note. And so here we have a 1, 3, 5, 6th of some sort, so that would give you half marks. Now here we're going from an E flat to a C. C would be part of E flat major, and that's a major 6th. Let's have a look at this one. So we're counting from the bottom note up, even though it comes second. 1, 3, 5, 7. So we've got a 7th, that's half your marks. And then you'll notice we're going from an E, we're in the bass clef now, E to a D sharp. So don't forget your key signature. D sharp is part of E major, and so we've got a major 7th. Let's look at the next one. Now here we can see that we've already gone over the octave break, so we've exceeded an octave, so I'm going to just jump up and redo that an octave higher from this A to this A. So now from here we're going 1, 2, 3, so we know we've got a compound 3rd. Now C sharp is part of A major scale, and so we could describe that as a compound major 3rd. Alternatively, you could count them up and you would count that as a 10th, but you'd need to know that it's a major 10th. We've got a similar job to do now, only this time we've got to write the note to give the interval that they've described. So we need to write a perfect fourth from this starting point of an F. So 1, 2, 3 is the ledger line, 4 is above the ledger line. F, G, A, B flat. F major has B flats in it. That's already a perfect fourth. We don't need to add any more accidentals because the key signature does that job for us. And so now we're in the bass clef, so this is a B. We need to create a perfect 5th. So let's write the 5th first of all. 1, 3, 5. Now we need to make this a perfect 5th, and at the moment, see, B major would have a key signature of F, C, G, D, A sharp. So this should be an F sharp to make that a perfect interval. And now that's complete. We'll look at the next questions in the next video. I do hope that that's been helpful to you. I hope that you're enjoying working through this paper as much as I'm enjoying working through it with you. Please do give me a like, that'd be really encouraging, and do subscribe to my channel to keep updated. There's lots more in store. Please also do visit sharonbale.com and make sure that you browse through all the information and resource that's available to you there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.